He grabs me and walks through a door. It looked like just a very small bedroom. I was scared because I knew if I tried to escape, I would need that key. He threw me on the bed. There was a small TV. My freedom was taken away from me.
The front door was just steps away, but before she could reach it, a hand clamped over her mouth, dragging her backward. 9-year-old Jeanette Tamayo loved crime shows, studying how detectives caught criminals. But she never imagined living her own terrifying story. One afternoon, she walked home with her mother and brother when everything changed. A predator forced his way in, grabbed Jeanette, and shoved her into his car. She was trapped. No one knew where she was. But her captor had no idea who he had just taken. This is the story of how a 9-year-old used true crime skills from her favorite TV show to manipulate her captor and escape. A child trapped in a predator's lair. Jeanette Tamayo sat frozen in the unfamiliar room, her heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst. The air was thick, filled with the musty smell of unwashed clothes and stale food. The walls were bare, the windows locked, and there was no sign of a way out. She was trapped, completely at the mercy of a man she did not know. Her captor moved around the house like he had done this before. He was careful, making sure no one could hear her. Every time she made a sound, he would glare at her, a silent warning to stay quiet. She had never felt this kind of fear before. But instead of letting it take over, she started paying attention. She watched how he locked the doors where he kept his things, and what made him angry. She thought back to the crime shows she loved watching. The detectives on television always looked for clues, always found ways to understand their enemies. She needed to do the same. Every small detail could be important. She noticed that he left his keys on the table, that he only locked certain doors, and that he seemed nervous every time the phone rang. The reality of her situation was horrifying, but Jeanette knew one thing. If she wanted to survive, she had to be smarter than him, planting clues for a future escape. Jeanette was just a child, but she was thinking like a detective. If she could not escape, she needed to make sure there was proof that she had been here. She waited for moments when her captor was not looking, then carefully took small items she could leave behind. A watch, a toy, even her underwear. Things that could later help police find him. She knew from crime shows that tiny details often solved cases. A single fingerprint, a piece of fabric, a forgotten object. She also made sure to touch as many things as possible. The door handle, the table, the bed. If the police ever searched this place, she wanted her fingerprints everywhere. But she was terrified that he would notice something was missing. If he caught her, what would he do? She did not want to find out. She had to be careful. She had to make sure he never suspected what she was doing. Every time she placed an item somewhere, she felt a small spark of hope. These were her breadcrumbs. If she did not make it out, maybe they would help someone find her. The 48-hour mark, a family losing hope. While Jeanette was trapped, her family was living a nightmare of their own. Her mother, Rosalia, had not slept since the moment she realized her daughter was missing. She refused to believe that Jeanette was gone forever, but the fear in her heart was unbearable. The police had told her something she could not accept. After 48 hours, most kidnapped children are never found. Her brother was struggling too. He could not sit still, pacing the house, looking out the window as if she might suddenly walk through the door. The detectives working the case were doing everything they could, but there were no leads, no clues, no hope. Every second that passed felt like another step toward the worst outcome. Jeanette was out there somewhere, alone, scared, and time was running out. A dangerous game of manipulation begins. Jeanette realized something terrifying. Her captor was not planning to let her go. If she wanted to get out alive, she had to make him believe that she was not a threat. She started talking to him differently, acting as if she was not afraid anymore. She forced herself to smile, to be polite, to seem like she was accepting the situation. It made her stomach turn, but she knew it was her only chance. Her plan worked. He started to trust her, letting his guard down little by little. Then, an opportunity came that she never expected. He asked her if she wanted to eat something. She told him she wanted pizza. He agreed, but the most important part was how he ordered it. He let her use his phone. She pretended like she was just excited about the food, but in reality, she was memorizing everything. His phone number, his address, the way the numbers were arranged on the screen. She did not know if this information would ever help her, but she held on to it. It could be the key to her escape. And soon, she would realize just how big of a mistake he had made. A chilling discovery: he knows he is being hunted. The pizza arrived, but when Jeanette's captor opened the door, something made him freeze. On top of the pizza box was a missing person flyer. Her missing person flyer. The moment he saw it, his entire mood changed. The calm, trusting man he had pretended to be disappeared. His hands were shaking. His breathing was heavy. He was panicking, and Jeanette knew exactly what that meant. He was going to kill her. Before she could react, he grabbed a pillow and pressed it against her face. She kicked, thrashed, did everything she could to fight back. Darkness started to creep into the edges of her vision. She could not breathe. Then suddenly, he stopped. She gasped for air, her body shaking, trying to understand why she was still alive. He stood there staring at her. Then he said something even more terrifying. "Go take a shower." Jeanette had watched enough crime shows to know what that meant. He was trying to erase evidence. And if he was thinking about evidence, it meant he was getting ready to get rid of her. She had to do something before it was too late. An unexpected release, but a final threat. Jeanette had no idea what was coming next. She was sure he was going to kill her. But then, out of nowhere, he grabbed her and shoved her into the car. She sat stiffly in the passenger seat, afraid to move, afraid to breathe too loudly. The car ride was long, and he did not say a word. She kept her eyes on the road, memorizing every turn, every landmark, every sign. If she survived this, she needed to remember everything. Finally, they pulled into a liquor store parking lot. The car slowed, then stopped. Her heart raced as he turned to her, his expression dark. "If you ever tell anyone what I did, I will kill your family, and then I will kill you." The words sent a chill through her body. Then, just like that, he unlocked the door. Jeanette could barely believe it. She opened the door and stepped out, her legs shaking. She turned back for a second, but he was already speeding off into the night, disappearing into the darkness. She was free, but was she really safe? The threat echoed in her mind. He was still out there. And if she wanted to protect her family, she needed to make sure he was caught. The smartest 9-year-old leads the police. Jeanette ran into the liquor store, her whole body trembling. Tears streamed down her face as she gasped out the words. She had been kidnapped. She needed help. The cashier's eyes widened in shock. He recognized her immediately from the news. Within minutes, the police arrived. Officers surrounded her, asking questions, checking to see if she was hurt. But Jeanette did not waste time. She had important information, and she made sure they listened. She told them everything: the address, the phone number, the details of the house. She even drew a map from memory, showing them exactly how to get there. The police could not believe what they were hearing. Most adults in her situation would have been too shaken to remember anything. But Jeanette, she was thinking like a detective. Thanks to her quick thinking, officers rushed to track down her captor. Within hours, a SWAT team surrounded his house. David Montiel Cruz must have realized what was happening because he tried to run. He even hid in the attic, thinking he could escape. But he had no chance. The police dogs found him first, dragging him out of his hiding place. Officers pinned him down, arrested him, and took him away. Jeanette was finally back where she belonged, safe in the arms of her family. But the nightmare never truly left her. For years, fear controlled Jeanette. She was afraid to leave home, terrified every stranger was a threat. But she refused to let her past define her. She found strength, pursued law enforcement, and dedicated herself to protecting others. Years later, she reunited with Detective Heather Randall, the woman who never gave up on her. With tears in her eyes, she said, "I turned my fear into courage. I got my family back." If you found this story incredible, make sure to subscribe for more true crime cases that will leave you speechless, and do not forget to hit the like button.